EA Sports. Hey all, I'm SSX, and welcome to SSX on Tour. With me on this video is Blank Tester.
Hey kids, how's it going?
Turo.
Howdy.
And Zindictive.
Yo.
SSX on Tour is the fourth game in the SSX series, released in 2005 for the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox. There's also a PlayStation Portable version, but I'm covering the console version here. And it's, even just the feel as you see kind of is a radical departure from sort of the futuristic or at least sleeker kind of presentation of the previous games to be this kind of sketchbook style that, was kind of the thing back in the mid-2000s.
It feels very like Guitar Hero in its, era. Aesthetic, yeah.
Yeah, like a few other games of like extreme sports games did this kind of thing at the same time, like Amped 3 was also a more kind of this sort of sketchbooky, wacky style. And
American Wasteland to an extent.
American Wasteland, yeah. And so, we're just starting off into, career mode, and immediately you see another major difference. Well, one, that you can ski if you want. In fact, this might be the best skiing extreme sports game, since it's still based on the SSX, engine,
that's true,
and it's a very, very competent gameplay. But that too, you're not playing as a pro. You create a character, and you play as them for the career mode.
So are you selecting from different options and then
these are some presets and just kind of a symbol, and you could customize them further, but I hit play now to just jump straight in.
Yeah. Because you can basically change everything about them, but
yeah. And it is sending you straight into kind of like a little tutorial, basically, to get your feet wet. The first part of this game is going to be basically just kind of short events to get you accustomed to the controls and such. You'll see that as this game develops, that also just its, not format, but the way it's put together, and what you do to advance, and basically, how you go through career mode is a lot different than all the previous games.
Yeah, your gameplay loop.
I only played a demo of this game, never really got the full game and such, and it also jumps you into an event, but I always just thought, it's a demo, so there should be like a tutorial thing or whatever in the game. I didn't expect this game to also just jump you in like this. Well, I mean, it's jumping you into what seems like a bit of a tutorial here, right? These are like little mini events in order to get you acclimated to the thing.
Yeah, right.
I can see that.
And so my personal experience with the game, like how much I played it, unlike the previous three, which, I played a lot as a kid and continued playing throughout the years and was able to really show off everything in them, is that, sure, I rented this game. I think I rented this game as a kid, but I never beat it, because it was in 2005. By that point, I was more into FPS games and wasn't really playing extreme sports games. So I probably rented it, didn't beat it, maybe played it once or twice in between, and now I'm back and, playing it more than I ever have before. So I think I'm literally closer to someone who's, new at the game than someone who has been there from the very beginning and could show everything off. I'm just saying that now in case you came from my previous SSX game playthroughs where I knew every little thing.
See you on the tour.
Okay, so just like a quick little thing.
So we do, a quick little race from Elise, and then we become a rookie or newbie.
Oh, okay.
Novice.
Novice. Okay.
Yeah.
Novice. So some events have opened up on the mountain. These shred events, and basically you'll need to do about 5 or 6 of them to move up to the next advanced category. All of them, these shred events, are basically like what you just saw. Quick little bits of gameplay, quick little challenges on one part of the mountain.
Huh.
All right.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed that they did was they sometimes when you were doing like a big trick in the air, they would show like the camera angle would change.
Yes.
And that's new to this game, right?
Yes, they changed up how Uber tricks work, or actually just changed them to be called monster tricks. I know that was its own thing in SSX 3. They're just called monster tricks now overall. Now, even when you have full boost, the shoulder buttons are still just grabs. The way the monster tricks work now is you push the right stick in a direction in the air and hold it, up, left, right, down. And those, are your one-footed tricks. And when you do one now, it slows down time and changes the camera angle and makes it all cool and such. And as the game goes along, you'll get further than just the 1-foot basics, get to the full kind of monster tricks that you would expect.
Okay,
right.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, the game still has its Uber and Super Uber system, kind of. And you can see the bar at the bottom that you can fill up 2 times. As much as I, in my head, wanted to make the transition between Ubers and monsters, just go with monsters, I had so much trouble right there, I probably will end up just calling them Ubers.
But I mean, we all know what you mean. Yeah.
Right.
Hit the
Along
jump 4 times.
the soundtrack for this game also is, kind of a bunch of sort of the alternative music of the time period. You remember OK Go? You remember
Block Party,
stuff like that. So some alternatives, some hip hop. There still are some the characters from the previous games, some of them, and you can face them off if you see one of their events. And also for the soundtrack, there's some 80s throwback, some sick rock of the time like Dio, Iron Maiden, Scorpions, Def Leppard, quite a few actually.
Yeah. Honestly, this game's
head
soundtrack fucking kicks ass. I think it's up there with SSX 3 soundtrack as one of the and even some early Tony Hawk or late Tony Hawk too. Just some of the best soundtracks in one of the best licensed soundtracks in gaming. Honestly.
Yeah, I guess extreme sports games do generally have to do licensed soundtracks, and they're usually pretty good.
Yeah.
Or at least they're, well, I don't know if they're usually pretty good, but they're licensed.
Also helps that this is basically my niche, indie rock to punk rock.
Right.
That sort of.
I gotta say, I really appreciate
scale.
that they put the credit for the music on screen.
Yeah.
I always just like that because it's I remember playing True Crime Streets of LA, and you could change the radio, what songs would play on the radio. There was a pre-built, licensed soundtrack, and there would be songs that'd be oh man, this is a really great song, but because they don't say what song it is, I have to go into the menu and just play each one to figure out which one is the one I like. And I was like, fuck this. This is 50 songs. I'm not gonna fucking do this.
Yeah. You're also seeing some things that I'm picking up in the levels. You see the cash from before. It's like the snowflakes from SSX 3, except there's silver cash worth $500 and gold cash worth $2,000.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. They got wings, and sometimes I'll hit a symbol that I can't describe it. It's a mask with flames, kind of, and that'll contribute to your boost bar.
Yeah, that's a boost up meter.
I also saw they have a sponsorship with Toyota this time.
Yes.
So I guess the Honda element's not around anymore.
Yeah, now they have the Toyota element.
Okay.
Right.
They upgraded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toyota has more letters in it than Honda, so that's how you know it's better.
Right.
So what is this?
You always get this team board like at this time. Like once you've done a few events, you know, you get the Nitro team board where you basically get like a 1 out of 10 in all the stats. Because now your stats are tied to what board you ride. And as you saw, there were race boards, you know, with higher speed and such. There were freestyle boards with higher tricking and combo boards. We'll get into those more later.
Yeah.
But here I'm showing off kind of the monster system, where you have the 4 basic kind of directions, and then more advanced tricks where you push a direction and then basically rotate in one of the 2 directions. So like, up and then to the left, up and to the right.
These are our monster tricks.
Kind of unfortunately, these are your 8 monster tricks. Like there's no alternates. Well, I guess if you ski, there's your own set of tricks.
Yeah.
So I really like that they have the controller on screen there to show you exactly, you know, what your inputs should be, what they should look like. Because I don't know, I fucking hate how like this is true. Is especially true of like very technical fighting games. I hate it when they're saying like, oh yeah, do 3 quarter circle turns, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing this right at all, because like I'm not accomplishing the move I want to do, and like I don't know if I'm even close, you know, because I can't see a controller. It's just saying 3 quarter circle turns. I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
It actually,
I love the fog.
Probably just from that tutorial, it probably looked harder than it is. You might think like, oh, I need to push up and then I need to push directly right, but it is like push a direction, and then if you have that trick, just rotate the stick in one way and you'll do it. Yeah.
So what is this event?
I basically had like 4 jumps to get a total amount of points.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm a master, I'm a shred champ at this game, I can do it in 2, baby.
Yeah. The shreds are kind of a little bit analogous to the big challenges from SSX 3, but they're how you progress in the game instead of being sort of like a side thing. But they are pretty unique in like their setup, you know.
Yeah, again, you can see what they are. Like, this is find the collectibles. That previous one was, you know, go off this jump and try to get this number of points after a few of those.
Yeah, I noticed one of the objective names are literally called Get Tricky, so they couldn't even get away from that game either here.
Yeah. Also, mostly unrelated, I will now have Daft Punk is playing in my house stuck in my head for the rest of the day.
Nice.
So you do these like little novice events, and then you unlock I assume whatever the next level up from there.
Yeah,
what?
the next like level rank up. I'm sorry, I'm so bad at remembering them, but it's like there's like amateur, rookie, and newbie. I don't remember what fucking order they're in. But like, when we level up at the end of this video, we'll be on the tour, and so we could start doing the actual competitions.
Okay, so these
is again
small
like an
events.
extended tutorial. Like, just giving you shreds only. So at the very start,
right?
Yeah,
so like later on, will there be
changed.
longer events then? Longer than these?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There will actually be shreds and competition events throughout the entire game.
Okay.
Again, they're just giving you shreds to get
kinda
new
give you a
players
custom.
into it, yeah.
Yeah. And I appreciate that, because, like, I mean, I would be basically a new player. I'm horrendous at extreme sports games. So, you know, I would want, like, some little short events to kind of get... Especially since, like, if I can't do this event, then I would practice doing it over and over and over, and it's nice that it's short enough that I can, you know, just restart at the end of the event.
Yeah.
Give it another go. Oh yeah.
And I'm noticing that the American Wastelands mentioned beforehand is kind of fitting here, because a lot of these objectives so far are very short, much like the missions you have to do in American Wasteland.
And I think that's probably something that'll kind of fade away into the background a little bit as the levels get longer and you start doing more.
As you level up, you start getting more main events and less shred events, but you'll keep getting both. As the game.
I kind of like the idea that they drop you in mid-trick even.
Yeah.
Did you just bonk on like I said?
Yeah. You're also seeing, even just from the map there, that this is not going to be like the previous games where you only have one track available or like just one part of the mountain. You'll basically have the entire mountain available to you, and where you ride will be based on what events generate.
Okay.
You know, like I picked one event, I was over on compilation, the track compilation. I picked this event, I'm up here. Yeah, so that's kind of a thing. You will get, free ride eventually as well. But yeah, I'll just mention that it's not like, oh, I need to specifically go to this track and do a competition here to go up to the next one and the next one, which is, kind of cool, but may also have one or two downsides, but we'll get into this later. I'm going to miss this one here, but what you see there are boasts, basically secret spots. If you hit that, you'll get the cool picture. I mean, that was the off-roading with Toyota thing I got earlier.
Oh, right.
And they'll basically give you extra hype, which will, accelerate your ranking up. So they're basically secret spots throughout the mountain. I won't be, making a point of trying to get all of them, but since I know where they all are, if I have an opportunity, I'll make a go at them.
Yeah, some of them are pretty hidden.
I'm not promising or saying right now, this will be a guide for all of them,
Yeah.
Can I make an analogy real quick? I think only Connor will really appreciate this. Well, I don't know, Zid might appreciate this a little bit. I feel like the art style here has shifted from the previous games in kind of a similar way that the Halo 3 to Reach went, where there was a sort of simplistic but clean art style that they had in the previous ones, and this one everything looks a little bit more detailed, but it does still feel like the previous one to me.
Yeah, I can understand that.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, my main thing about that though is that I honestly feel like 3 is a bit more detailed than this game from what I've been seeing so far, but I do understand what you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, the trees and stuff seem more detailed to me. Maybe I'm misremembering, actually.
It feels more like it's in the middle of where Twisted was and where 3 was, where it's not as colorful, it's not as all sorts of lighting and colors and such, and all sorts of all sorts of shit everywhere to really showcase the levels having personality and such like in 3. And this one, it's more like what Twisted was like, where it was kind of having the characters be more on that, personality and such. So the levels.
Yeah, they really want to focus on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, across the mountain, you'll see that the developers and level designers and such really worked to make a consistent kind of feel down the entire mountain, rather than in SSX 3 where you get to the bottom of one track, go through a tunnel, and it goes from midday to midnight.
Right.
Yeah.
And the levels still have some set pieces, but overall they're a lot more consistent with each other, and that it's probably kind of what you're getting at.
That's kind of weird. It's Transworld Snowboarding's covered in there. But Transworld Snowboarding, did they have a game out?
Yeah, 4 years before this.
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
Yeah. Daniel Frank is in this game.
Yeah, so we were a newbie. He's not actually. We were a newbie, but now we're an amateur. We got on the tour, and as it just said, so these star events are the competitions, the race competition, the slopestyle competitions.
Oh, okay.
And now we just, we need to get cracking. We need to build our hype up. We need to move up the Transworld snowboarding list, to go from being number 200 on the mountain to number 1, baby.
Well, hype beast.
Yeah, so we have a long road ahead of us on SSX on Tour, and join us next time.